Okay, so sorry I'm not here at school today, but here are the notes that I would like you guys to have. This is the last new concept we're going to do before you guys take your quiz on Tuesday next week. So let's go into this. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to find the equation of the line that is graphed on the graph on our notes here. So we're going to have to see what is our y-intercept and what is our slope. If we look here, we can see that our y-intercept is at 7, okay? That tells us we know our b value, okay? Now we're going to look and see, okay, there's another point that I can use at -1, 4. So I'm going to use those 2 points to figure out my slope to find my rise and my run. So if I look at this, if I move up, and I move up 3 units, and then I figure out what my run is, and I moved over 1 unit. Okay, so I can say and know that my slope is 3 over 1, which simplifies to just 3. Okay. Once I know that, I can plug in my m and my b value to my equation of y equals mx plus b. So if we plug those in, we get the equation y equals 3x plus 7. Okay. So when we talk about solutions to a linear equation, we're talking about what are the x and the y values that make this equation work. Just remember, x is going to be in that first blank, and y will be the second number that you see in the parentheses. Okay. So they ask us to know if 2 comma 1 or 2 comma 1, we just want to do -2 comma 1. We want to plug that into the equation y equals 3x plus 7 and see if it is a solution, if it works. So how we do that is we plug in, oops, typo error. We plug in 1 for y, and then we plug -2 in the x's spot. Now we're going to do our multiplication. So we're going to multiply 3 times -2, and that gets us -6, and we still have the plus 7. So if we take 7 and we take away 6 from it, we get 1. 1 equals 1. That works. 1 does equal 1. Okay? So we can say, yes, it satisfies the equation. So the point of -2 comma 1 does satisfy that equation. So that tells us that it is a solution to that equation. So it is actually, if we went to -2 and up to 1, oh, look, that point falls on the corner of our graph. It is a solution to that graph. Okay. So let's look at the next piece. Let's look at an example. Let's do a couple of examples. So if we look at the next one, we're going to plug in 3 for x and 11 for y and see if it works in the equation of y equals 3x plus 5. So if we plug it in, we get 11 equals 3 times 3 plus 5. Well, 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. 11 does not equal 14. So if we get an answer where the two numbers are not the same and it doesn't balance, and 1 doesn't equal 1 or 11 doesn't equal 11, then we know that there is that the point 311 does not satisfy the equation. Okay? So all that means is that 3 comma 11 is not a point. If we graph the equation, it would not be a point on the line. Okay, so let's look at the next one. We have 4 comma 16, and they want to see if it goes into y equals 7x minus 3. So we start by plugging in that 16 for y, and then equals 7 And instead of x, we are going to put 4. So 7 times 4 minus 3. Well, 7 times 4 is 28. And 28 minus 3 is 25. So 16 equals 25. They do not equal. So that means, just like example 1, the point 416, it does not satisfy the equation. So that means that it is not a solution to that equation. It doesn't make that equation true. It would not fall on that graph line. Okay. Let's do one more example, and then I want you guys to do examples 4 and 5. If you finish those, please check with the sub or Mr. Music, and they will get you the practice page that goes along with this. One correction I want to make is, let's see, down here it says 40, it says y equals 40x equals 68. That was a typo. I want you to put it as y equals 40x plus 68. And then use the equation, or use the point of negative 212 and see if it works. Okay, but let's go back to number 3. So if we put in, we have 2 comma 12. So x is 2 and y is 12. So we're going to plug that in. So we write, instead of y, we put 12 equals 6 times x, which is 2. So 12 equals 6 times 2 is 12. So it works. 12 is equal to 12. So we would go and say the point does satisfy the equation. So if we looked at a graph of this line, we could go to point 2, go over to the right 2 and up 12, and we would see that point on that graph. Okay. So I want you guys to try these. You're just plugging in and seeing if they balance, if they equal out nicely. I will be back tomorrow. You guys will, I will check this. I will go over it a little bit, and then you will work on iReady. But if you have any questions, please let me know. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.